squad news. Scott Cummings dropped out. Can you kind of update us on the injury there? Johnny Gray and Finn Russell are still part of it. Does that mean that they have a chance to feature this weekend?
Finn will be unlikely with the short turnaround and the head knock, so that's something that is unlikely to happen. Johnny, we're kind of just waiting to see how he's progressing through the week. It is a short week, so we need to keep an eye on him. And Scott's been for a scan, so we'll get an update on that soon enough.
Looking back on the weekend, and I guess on the fact that it was 2 defeats in a row, does it make everyone kind of take stock and kind of assess where you are at the moment, having started the tournament so well, to then kind of have this real kind of low feeling?
Yeah, I think we're a fairly level-headed group amongst the coaches and the players. We were really pleased with a lot of the stuff that happened down in Twickenham. Winning there for the first time since '83, I think it was. And we wanted to build on that going into the kind of 2 home games there we've just had. And we certainly felt we got that in the first half, certainly, of the Welsh game. And unfortunately, things didn't kind of unfold how we wanted them to do, and end up losing that game. The Irish game was a different kind of game, wasn't it? Like you can't really compare the Ireland and Wales game. We didn't get into our game quick enough. The Irish took control in those first 10, 15 minutes, but like it's one of those strange things. It kind of depends on your personality a little bit, I guess, as to whether you're glass half full or glass half empty. Because there's certainly negative stuff that you can talk about, but there's positive stuff as well. I mean, we could have been further down after that first 15, 20 minutes, but we found ourselves, we were 10-8 up. We were 24-10 down, and then we found it 24-all. So glass half full says, we're not playing at our best, and we've got right back into the game. Glass half empty says, why didn't we play well enough? And what happened at the end when we didn't kind of close the game, or we gave them an opportunity to win the game. So we're pretty level-headed. We're not too far excited one way or too far disappointed the other way. We know that we've got a young group who are constantly improving. It's just a shame to have the couple of blips there. That was a long answer.
Hi, Mike. Craig Chalmers made some comments about the current team showing naivety against Ireland. He mentioned about it being a young team. How would you respond to that?
Do you know in which particular aspects he was talking about? Or is it just a general comment?
I think he was just saying generally that they showed naivety in the game.
Yeah, I don't think it's naivety. I think the places where we lost the game, there are a few areas that we can look at. I think the set piece line out, the breakdown, they got a number of penalties there, some of our turnovers, as Jamie had mentioned before. They probably got the better of the kick battle as well. So, there are a number of areas where we got beaten. I don't think naivety was an issue within that. I think it was more tactical or technical.
And you mentioned about being able to come back against Ireland, and obviously you've not lost any game in the Six Nations by more than 3 points. So is there any kind of confidence that you can take from the last 3 matches, despite only having the 1 win?
Yes. There is. But at the same time, you should have seen the look in the guys after the game, the coaches, management, everyone as well. I think we've built up an expectation of the level of game that we want to play. And we didn't reach that. So there's lots of disappointment there. But, we've got to look for positives. There's no point in just finding negatives in everything, because that's not going to help, because we've got a couple of games in the championship still to play. So, we had a fairly blunt review of the game today. The players are aware that the areas that we need to work on, and we need to get back on that horse and get fired into Italy.
Mate, you talk about. Sorry. You talk
Mike,
about.
it's Vinny from Sky. Sorry.
Go on,
After
Vinny.
you, mate. Okay. Mike, I just wonder how difficult these 6-day turnarounds are to manage for you guys.
Yeah, they're not easy. I mean, we've had worse situations, you know, out in Japan when I think it was a 4-day turnaround at the World Cup, and that's proper difficult. Like the guys will have played 6-day turnarounds with their clubs before, but it's certainly not ideal. It's an intense game we play, and it's even more intense in an international level. So, you know, to get guys back training, to get guys back playing, it's you know, puts a lot of demand on the players, but it's a way that we've got to manage them and make the best out of the situation.
And Greg, as I mentioned earlier, spoke about making the most of opportunities, and not making the most of them is really spoiling Scotland's chances at the moment. Does that come down to composure? Is it belief, mentality? What is it?
Inaccuracy. That covers probably all the different areas where we failed on, you know, which resulted in us losing the game. Inaccuracy. I think was the main thing across the board, and that's something that we need to fix up. And I believe we'll do that.
That said, as well, though, the fact that you've beaten England at Twickenham, the fact that you've gone close against Wales and gone close in different ways against Ireland when you possibly weren't at your best, what kind of a platform does that give you going forward?
Yeah, we talked during last Six Nations about being a team that were hard to beat. So that was our kind of number one thing going into the Six Nations last year, and we believe we've moved on from that. So we are a hard team to beat. You can see that by winning down in Twickenham, by having these close games at home. But now that's not enough. So we've moved up a level, but it's not enough to say that we got close, that we're in the game. That was, you know, Scotland teams before. You know, this is a talented group of players. You know, really hard working, and you know, we know. I think Jamie mentioned it before again. Like, you know, we know if we play the best of our ability, we can win against England away. We can beat Wales and Ireland at home. So it's up to us to be able to control our own performance, put our best game on the pitch.
Thanks, Mike. All the best.
Cheers.
Mike, is dealing with you talk about, you know that you're good enough, obviously, to win in England, etc. Dealing with that expectation, has that been a learning curve? Maybe was that an issue for you on Saturday at the start of the game? Could the team have dealt with those expectations better to get off to a better start?
Yeah, I don't know if that's how players feel. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't feel under real pressure to perform. I felt the same as I did going into the England game. You know, you back the guys to play well, and so I can't really answer it on their behalf. But you know, we are a team that believe that we can be winning games. So yeah, I don't know. Sorry, I can't really answer that more.
And how do you assess Italy ahead of the game on Saturday?
They've had a tough championship. I think they're better than their results have shown. I think teams have had kind of, golden patches against them and been able to pressurize them over kind of 10, 15 minute periods. And they seem to struggle to come back after that. So, the start of the game, the consistency of pressure that we're able to put on them, that's going to be really important just at the start of the game, because if they have a good start, then it's going to be a long day at Murrayfield. BT Murrayfield.
Cheers, Mike.
Cheers.